There's a seasonality in the automotive business, and pretty much if you've been in the automotive business for longer than a year, you know this. The last Q4 of calendar year, any calendar year, is just it's just not good. That's the slow time of the year. People are more focused on the holidays and buying Christmas presents than buying cars. It's just not a super high priority. And we had the added mix this year of there not being really great incentives until pretty much like the last minute. And so this year, specifically this December, was exceptionally hard for a lot of dealerships. And not only that, the units that some manufacturers are giving their stores, I mean, they're high dollar or high ticket trim levels when that's not exactly what their market will bear. So if you're living in a market where the average income is $38,000 to $45,000 and the average trim level that the OEM is stocking you with is a $70,000 vehicle, I mean, you're going to have a tough time moving that. So what do you do? So a lot of companies, a lot of dealerships will be like, well, it's, the marketing, we need to change marketing companies. We need to change website providers. We need to change internet directors. And they'll do a lot of shuffling of everything, basically, to kind of remedy the problem. When the problem really, those aren't the problems. It's the seasonality that's the problem. So I would challenge you to, instead of fixing the symptoms of the issue, you're not going to fix the cause. You're going to have to find a way to work through that. You're going to have to find a way to deal with those symptoms of the issue. You can't stop Christmas. You can't stop seasonality. You can't stop people from wanting to buy, presents for their kids rather than cars. And you can't stop the manufacturer from having not the best incentives right now or in December. But what you can do is dial back your marketing dollar. Not a lot. I wouldn't recommend, if you're spending $40,000 a month, to dial it back to $10,000. But I would recommend cutting it back a little bit, because you need to account for the fact that you're going to have a lower profit. And your marketing company should also account for that as well and be expecting that. So if you look at your last year, 2022, and what was the drop off between Q3 and Q4, and that would be probably a safe bet. And ask your marketing company too what they saw market wide, and you can make a database driven decision on how you should reduce your budget. So if the drop off between Q3 to Q4 last year in 2022 was, I don't know, let's say 17%, you probably should drop your marketing budget by at least 15 to 20%. And that's another, again, make a database decision. Don't make a gut check decision, because the data is not going to lie to you. And I don't know if your gut's accurate or not. My gut is usually accurate. It's just whether I choose to listen to it. So if you have the same problem, definitely look at the data and do kind of that double check on your gut and make sure it's telling you the right path to take. Now, on the flip side of it, when you do that, you can expect that your results definitely already are going to drop, but you're also going to have a drop in the first month of Q1 in the calendar year. Why? We dropped our marketing dollars. That's why. So whenever you make a significant change to your marketing dollars, you're not going to see, like, you can't drop it by your budget by $10,000 on your paid marketing and 1 week and then add it back the next week and think you're going to have any sufficient kind of movement or drop or raise or increase in your results. It just doesn't work that with paid marketing. And I've said this before, digital marketing is kind of like golf. It's not there are short game sufficient efficiencies and long game efficiencies, and you need to be proficient at both in order to have an effective digital marketing plan. Paid marketing is a long game strategy. I've said that time and time again. So you can't, just because you have a great website and you have your Google business profile on point and your organic posting on social media is on point, doesn't mean that's going to gain you a tremendous increase in your sales, or it's going to keep your customers loyal. Or it's going to, get you a ton of traffic. It's the combination of having all those pieces, but then having an effective digital paid marketing strategy, an effective social media, OTT, all these presence, these avenues, silos that you need to be present in order to be effective all around. So, and where I'm going with that is, just because the results for December weren't what you expected, they dropped by X amount, I don't know that I would use that as the catalyst to drop all my budgets in January, because that you're not even going to feel the effect of that in January. You're going to feel the effect of that in February. And as in the car business, we tend to be reactive. So, we didn't sell as much in December, so we have to drop the budget in January. Well, why don't we be proactive to that? So we know we're coming into Q4 of the fiscal year, Q1 of the calendar year, and we know the incentives are starting to get more aggressive from the OEMs. So if it were me, if it were my store, I would actually be increasing my budget, because we know, we're going to get more inventory. We're going to get more sellable inventory, because the manufacturers are finally listening to the dealers that, hey, my average income here is $45,000 a year. I can't sell an $80,000 SUV here at any point in time. It's going to sit here for at least 6 months before I even get a bite on it. So I think that we're coming into a better time all around, and obviously because of seasonality, it's a better time of year in the car business as well, because it's tax time, people are over Christmas, people are realizing they need a new car, and I think all around, I know all around we're coming into a better time of year. So I would really be looking at increasing, especially right now, we're in the first full week in January, I would be looking at increasing my budgets with regards to my digital marketing spend. I would be looking to doing refresh pages on my website. I would be looking to put my 2023 units front and center and pushing them into every nook and cranny I possibly could. That means you need specific ad campaigns that go to an SRP for your 2023s for paid for your Google Ads accounts. That means you need make sure you have tracking on a list too. That means you need specific campaigns into your social media talking about getting rid of your 2023s. That means you need to be posting organically about why someone should buy a 2023. And I'm not just talking about you should say, we're having a great sale. No, that shit doesn't work. You need to be the subject matter expert for your particular brand and that particular community as far as automotive purchases. So start establishing yourself with content like that. If you're not sure where to start, look at Google Trends. Look at what do people talk about in automotive or cars or trucks in, my community. Message me here, and I'm happy to bounce some ideas off of, I'll brainstorm with you on what you can do for your social media organic posting. Point being is, just because you had a shitty Q4, just because you had a shitty December, don't pull the plug on all your digital marketing. Don't pull the plug on your vendor just yet. Look at the reality of your situation. Look at where you're at and take those lessons to next year, or to this Q4, to 2024 Q4 calendar year. And let me explain why. We're going into an election year. So as bad as the CPC was for December 2023, it's going to be even worse in 2024, because you're going to start competing against political ads, and it's going to get freaking crazy in the digital marketing space next year. So use the lessons you learn now to plan effectively for Q4 in 2024, and making sure not addressing the reality of what the automotive and sales environment is right now. So hope that helps for this week. Happy selling.